Welcome back to your favorite channel for coin collectors, history lovers, and everyone curious about the hidden value in everyday change. Moneybag today, we're diving deep into the world of US coins, and we've got a special focus on the 2002 Jefferson nickel, one of the last designs before a major redesign hit the series in 2004. First minted in 1938, the Jefferson nickel replaced the Buffalo nickel and has been in circulation ever since. Named after Thomas Jefferson, the third president of the United States, this 5-cent coin has become a common sight in the pockets of millions of Americans. By 2002, the Jefferson nickel had already spent over 6 decades in American change, unchanged in its primary design since its launch. But change was on the horizon, and the 2002 issue was one of the final years before a big makeover. The 2002 Jefferson nickel features the classic left-facing portrait of Thomas Jefferson on the obverse, designed by Felix Schlag. On the reverse, you'll find Jefferson's famous Virginia home, Monticello, centered under the Latin phrase e pluribus unum, meaning out of many one. Now here's a fun fact. Although this design looks nearly identical to earlier nickels, experts and collectors often check these coins for strike quality and condition, especially as the coin series was about to change. In 2002, the U.S. Mint struck Jefferson nickels at both the Philadelphia and Denver mints. Let's break it down. Philadelphia Mint, no mint mark ***, around 361 million nickels were produced. Denver Mint, D mint mark ***, approximately 373 million coins were struck. That's a combined total of over 734 million coins, making the 2002 Jefferson nickel very common in circulation. Alright, let's talk numbers, the reason many of you are here. If you've got a 2002 Jefferson nickel in circulated condition, here's what it's typically worth, still just 5 cents in general circulation, and better. Circulated condition ***, minimal wear, clear details maybe 6 to 10 cents, depending on the buyer. These coins can fetch anywhere from 25 cents to $1, especially if they have good luster and no major scratches. High-grade examples, MS66 Plus or Full Steps designation, ***. Now here's where it gets interesting. If your coin has full steps, a mark of a very sharp strike, it might be worth $10 to $20 or more, depending on demand. Rare errors, such as off-center strikes, double dies, or planchet flaws, could boost the value significantly, but those are rare. Now, if you love treasure hunting like we do, keep an eye out for these error varieties in your 2002 nickels. Can be worth $10 to $50 plus, depending on how off-centered it is. Small errors but can interest error collectors. Always worth a second look. These can reach $30 to $100 plus if authenticated by grading companies like PCGS or NGC. If you find something strange or unique about your coin, don't spend it just yet. Get it appraised. For most people, a 2002 Jefferson nickel is just pocket change. But if you're a collector or hoping to build a full Jefferson nickel collection, this coin is a must-have, especially if you can find one in mint state. Might not be super valuable on its own, but it's a piece of U.S. coin history, and represents the end of an era just before the Westward Journey nickel series kicked off in 2004. So, is your 2002 nickel worth a fortune? Probably not. But it's more than just 5 cents. It's a snapshot of America's coinage before a big transition. And who knows? With a bit of luck, you might find an error coin or a gem uncirculated piece. The USA 5-cent Jefferson nickel from 1989. We'll explore its history, design details, mintage, and most importantly, its current circulated value. So, whether you're a beginner collector or just curious about that nickel in your pocket, stay tuned. Let's start with a little history. The Jefferson nickel has been a staple of American coinage since 1938, featuring President Thomas Jefferson on the obverse and Monticello, his Virginia home, on the reverse. The 1989 nickel continues the design introduced in 1938, with a few minor variations over the years, but the 1989 design remains classic and recognizable. The obverse features a left-facing portrait of Jefferson, while the reverse shows a detailed image of Monticello. The mint mark, which tells us where the coin was produced, can be found on the reverse to the right of Monticello's dome. In 1989, nickels were minted at 3 locations: Philadelphia, no mint mark; Denver, D mint mark; and San Francisco, S mint mark. The San Francisco coins were mostly proof coins. Now, let's talk about how many 1989 nickels were produced. This is important because mintage numbers affect the rarity and value. Philadelphia, approximately 451 million coins. Denver, approximately 407 million coins. In Francisco, about 10.6 million proof coins. As you can see, the Philadelphia and Denver mintages were very high, meaning these coins are quite common in circulation. There are no significant rare varieties or errors commonly known for the 1989 Jefferson nickel, which means finding a rare variation is unlikely but not impossible if you're hunting for errors. When we talk about circulated coins, we mean coins that have been used in everyday transactions. They show signs of wear such as scratches, loss of detail, and dull surfaces. For the 1989 Jefferson nickel, circulated coins are generally abundant and easy to find. Now, the big question: how much is a circulated 1989 Jefferson nickel worth? In general, circulated 1989 nickels hold their face value of 5 cents because they are very common. Coins in average circulated condition typically don't have added collector value. If you find a 1989 nickel in uncirculated or mint condition, like those from the San Francisco mint proof set, or an uncirculated Denver or Philadelphia coin, those can be worth a bit more, ranging from around 25 cents up to a couple of dollars for pristine examples. But if you just found a 1989 nickel in your change, it's likely worth 5 cents, still cool to collect, but not rare or valuable in most cases. If you're interested in collecting Jefferson nickels or nickels in general, here are a few tips for coins in higher grades, better condition, to increase value. Keep an eye out for errors or varieties, which can add value. Consider collecting key dates and mint marks from Jefferson nickels long series. Use proper coin holders to protect your coins from damage. Check online marketplaces or coin shops to see current market trends and prices. The Jefferson nickel was the first U.S. coin to feature a president other than Lincoln on a regular circulation coin. During World War II, from 1942 to 1945, nickels were made from a special silver alloy to save nickel for the war effort. Monticello has appeared on the nickel's reverse for over 80 years. Alright, guys, that's a wrap on the 1989 Jefferson nickel. While this coin might not make you rich, it's a fascinating piece of American history and a great starter coin for collectors. The story of the Jefferson nickel is a fascinating chapter in American coinage history. It all began back in the late 1930s. Before 1938, the U.S. 5-cent coin was the Buffalo nickel, featuring an iconic Native American profile on the front and a bison on the back. But by the mid-1930s, the Buffalo nickel was wearing down, and the U.S. Mint was ready for a new design. In 1938, the Jefferson nickel was introduced to replace the Buffalo nickel. The new design featured Thomas Jefferson, the third President of the United States and the author of the Declaration of Independence, on the obverse, front, of the coin. The reverse design showcases Monticello, Jefferson's beloved Virginia estate, which became a symbol of his legacy and the architectural style he championed. This design was created by Felix Schlag, a German-born sculptor who won a design competition held by the U.S. Mint. The Jefferson nickel quickly became popular and has remained the standard 5-cent coin design since then, with only a few minor changes over the decades. During World War II, from 1942 to 1945, nickel was needed for the war effort, so the coin's composition changed to a silver war nickel made of 35% silver, 56% copper, and 9% manganese, a unique chapter in nickel history. After the war, the mint returned to the traditional copper-nickel composition. Fast forward to 1989, the coin you have in your hand continues this long legacy. The 1989 Jefferson nickel features the same classic design, embodying over 50 years of American history. It was the first circulating U.S. coin to feature a president other than Abraham Lincoln, who appears on the penny. The Jefferson nickel also reflects important American ideals: leadership, independence, and the historical significance of Monticello. Its longevity and consistent design make it a staple of everyday American currency and a favorite among coin collectors. Why 1989 Jefferson nickels were mass-produced for daily use, with millions minted across Philadelphia, Denver, and proof versions from San Francisco. Though the design stayed consistent, the Jefferson nickel continued to serve as a symbol of American heritage. Specifically, the 1981 5-cent coin from the United States. We'll explore its design, history, and most importantly, its current value in circulated condition. So, if you've got a pocket full of nickels, stay tuned. The Jefferson nickel is one of the longest-running designs in U.S. coinage history, first introduced in 1938. The 1981 nickel features the familiar profile of Thomas Jefferson, the third U.S. president, on the obverse, or front, side. The reverse side displays Jefferson's famous home, Monticello, a neoclassical mansion in Virginia. The 1981 Jefferson nickel was minted in two places: the Philadelphia Mint, which does not have a mint mark, and the Denver Mint, which carries a small D mint mark on the reverse. In 1981, the Philadelphia Mint produced about 250 million nickels, while the Denver Mint made roughly 222 million. These are large mintage numbers, meaning these coins are fairly common, especially in circulated condition. Now, what about value? What can you expect to get if you have a 1981 Jefferson nickel that's been in circulation? Because of their high numbers and common circulation, most 1981 nickels are worth their face value, 5 cents, if they show typical wear like scratches, dullness, or minor dents. But don't get discouraged. Some key factors can make your 1981 nickel worth more. For instance, coins in uncirculated or mint state condition can fetch higher prices, sometimes around $1 to $2 or more, depending on grade. The Denver D and Philadelphia pieces generally share similar values, but certain collectors may prefer one mint mark over the other. Occasionally, error coins from this year, like double dies or off-center strikes, can be quite valuable to collectors, and circulated grades, like good, G, fine, F, or very fine, VF, the value usually remains close to face value. But if your coin looks almost new, with all details sharp and the luster intact, it might be worth checking with a coin dealer or grading service. Here's a quick tip. Always check the edge of your nickel for any unusual markings or errors. Also, the presence of a D mint mark on the reverse bottom right side of Monticello tells you if it's from Denver or Philadelphia. See. This one here has a D. That's Denver. This one doesn't have a mint mark. That's Philadelphia. Oh, to sum it up, the 1981 Jefferson nickel is a very common coin and is generally worth face value in circulated condition. However, if you find a high-grade uncirculated example or a rare error, it could be worth a few dollars or more to collectors. Circulated, face value, 5 cents, uncirculated, MS60 plus $1 to $2 plus error coins. Variable, sometimes $10 plus, depending on rarity. If you enjoyed this video and want to learn more about coins like the Jefferson nickel, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell so you don't miss any of our weekly coin updates. Thanks for watching Yamara, where every coin tells a story. Catch you in the next video.